Welcome back to the NLC, and there we go. I'm together with the usual suspects, and it's going to be Singularity versus MNM.
Are we that
I was
suspect?
getting distracted by Gulbok dancing in the background.
It is, isn't it? It's like, your eyes go to that
It's all
spot.
the
but okay.
TikToks. He says he doesn't like it, but he does like it.
You know, deep
So,
down.
such a tsundere.
Yes. But now, looking into Singularity versus MNM, what, like, Singularity obviously on the back foot on this one, what do they need to do to win versus MNM?
Right?
That's a large part of it, because you know that every game that Singularity coming into...
He got really mad. He's like, come on.
We know at this point that Singularity are going to be underdogs. They are a team that is looking to try and build on something. It's not at a great bedrock state right now. You're looking to stabilize, try and get that first win. I think mentally that'd be really big for them. How do they do that? Well, they already were going towards stuff like the center before. They played a game of it. That was before the buffs. Maybe they go towards something like that. And also the thing about MNM is that they do have their comfort champions. Maybe just strip all of them away in the first phase and say, okay, you've performed very well on these. Let's try and rock the boat there. Pick something which will rock it even more. Maybe we can capsize this into a win.
So what I think is really important to mention here is the players that are performing really, really well for the side of Singularity and give a little bit of a shining light on them. And I think one of them has been Muta in the mid lane. Now, the thing is, or problem rather for Muta, is that Royal Cannon has also been the shining star for the side of MNM. But the thing is, even though I'm seeing Pop on all these hard scaling farming champions where his team is supposed to play for him, I'd like a 180.
Well, he had played the Jinzhou last week, 2 games ago.
He did, yeah.
Wow, 2 games out of 6. Sure, Namera, you persuaded me. No.
It's a third, yeah.
It's a third of them.
Okay, the Master Yi is like legitimately stuck into my head.
PTSD,
And I'm like,
yeah, I know.
I would just like to see that mid-jungle synergy coming in from the side of Singularity if you want to break MNM. Because I felt like Kana and Royal Cannon together possibly one of the top mid-jungle duos that we have in the NLC in terms of synergy.
They need to take away the Hecarim. It has to be removed. We know that Kana is just smurfing on that one. Royal Cannon, though, being the player of the week on the previous week. By the way, it was actually the player of the week with Akshan and Vex. Royal Cannon was a player of the week. Like, they need to remove that as well, probably. Let's see.
But then you also think down to this Ziggs ban as well, because Michigu had one hell of a game on
Not
that
just
Ziggs
one.
as well.
Not just one,
the
two.
Ziggs.
But maybe I was just like captivated in my mind by the one crazy one. But yes, no, he's had multiple at that point. And it just, again, it changes the way you can play through bot side. It's not the Caitlyn, it's not the Jinx. It's, you go towards that Ziggs Leona and it becomes very, very difficult. And again, I do like what Singularity are going towards that. Ban out the comfort, ban out the early game powerhouses or stabilizers. I think that's a good direction to go in.
This is getting a little bit problematic. Caitlyn, Diana, Hecarim, Twisted Fate. There's so many power picks, and why I really like the fact that Singularity is leaving all of them open. They're like, okay, MNM can only grab one of the 3 or 4 power picks that are gonna stay open, and we can grab the other 2. And I really like this because, okay, they're gonna ban the Hecarim,
There we go.
which is not surprisingly a power pick. We still have Caitlyn, Diana, and Twisted Fate, which get picked a lot. And if the Jinzhou gets locked in right here, Singularity can take their pick. They can choose whatever they want to play. I would say we haven't necessarily seen Pop on anything like the Diana, but we know Tatui really likes to play aggressive topside AD champions. Potentially you can lock in the Diana here, looking to play towards the top side of the map. You've got the R5 as well to help Tatui with.
I actually don't think I've ever seen Port play Diana, and I've cast him an awful lot. So it is going to be a Caitlyn on the bot side. Spike as an AD carry has really struggled in terms of the statistical side of things. Very low damage percentage, not often had any resources put into him though. So there are reasons for all these stats kind of being outside of the norm. This is a very different style of draft from Singularity from what we've seen them so far. It's bot lane pressure, it's early ganking pressure, which is a little bit of what we've seen again from that last week of Singularity.
I don't like it. This is the fastest Twisted Fate lock-in I've ever seen in my life. I'm surprised if they're not going to do it right here, because a Caitlyn lane, you usually play Caitlyn Karma, Caitlyn Lux, you want to be pushing on the bottom side of the map permanently, and Twisted Fate is such a block on your mood, because if you play Twisted Fate, it's like you cannot push, because he always has the pressure, and he has it from level 6. I know that Corki's overpowered, we've talked about this, but I'm like,
ooh, okay.
Twisted Fate breaks your
This
push.
is spicy. This is a mage. Is it for Muta?
I think it can be both, because if you lock in a really passive bot lane and you try and go towards like Michigu, going some not Ziggs, but the Ziggs-centric kind of thing, and you don't have a Nautilus, you don't have a Leona that can walk into you, This is a very high damage lane, which, I mean, as we said, Singularity have not had the resources put onto their bot side just yet. It could be there, though. However, we know the mid lane matchup. It's a flex.
I'm thinking that this could possibly be also an Ezreal for Mishigu. An Ezreal Karma. An Ezreal Karma is like a very slippery 2 versus 2 lane. It does fairly well into any Caitlyn lane, whether it's Caitlyn with whatever champion that pokes. So even if that Xerath ends up being down in the bot lane, I don't think an Ezreal will have too much trouble with it. Yes, you've got a little bit of trouble to the point where you get pushed in and shoved in really early, but I think that you're going to be mostly fine because you've got the Gwen that's scaling, you've got the Corki that's scaling, you kind of want to chill back.
So normally I'd agree in terms of the Ezreal Karma because that is the last like S+ spot lane. But I think if you're going into a poke war against a Kate Xerath, you're going to really suffer nothing. You want a way to close the distance.
They don't think this is a Xerath bot lane.
But it opens up the question, right? And if you are questioning it, suddenly there's like, actually, can you afford to go for the Caitlyn Karma? They get the last pick. They get to go. They get to have that last kind of pick and like have the all according to Keikaku. Translator's note, Keikaku means plan, and plan means apparently Xerath being able to be played in multiple roles.
Well done. Let's see the last man. There we go. It's going to be the Jace to be removed. Now they get the opportunity to save that mid lane and then do the switcheroo. If it's a Xerath on the mid, Xerath on the bot, what are you sniffing? What are you sniffing?
That's the thing. I would go for a scaling pick. Okay, they choose to keep the Xerath as a flex still and pick the Gangplank.
Yeah.
I do not necessarily love the Gangplank here because we talked about the Ezreal and the Ezreal does not give a single S about the Gangplank ultimate because he's so slippery, he can move around. I love the Leona. Leave the Ezreal on the bot lane. It's going to be a pushing lane for the Caitlyn anyway. Play towards the other side of the map. Get the Gwen scaling. Get the Xin Zhao ahead. I love this from MNM.
But then again, the problem is, like, can you afford to do that against such a good... Because let's be honest, with the meta changing the way it is, poke under tower has become very, very powerful because you're not likely to get teleported on behind in the early game. I do think this is a good option to put that into that support. Can, of course, be flexed. We're going to see... Is this Jarvan support? Oh, it's even more... We got the Janna. There we go. We got the Janna. Into Leona. Full disengage. Let's go.
I'm not that much of a fan of the Janna here because of what Namera said. Leona into any poke support, into any Caitlyn lane is going to absolutely massively suffer. And if she roams, then the Ezreal is in danger under tower from all the poke. And even if he's not in danger, he's going to have to back off. A lot of plays are going to go to the side of Caitlyn, and it's going to snowball on the rest of the map. I think putting the Janna here is going to take down a lot of that poke and push that a Caitlyn X whatever support, whatever poke support gives to the Caitlyn. I like the disengage towards the Leona, towards the Xin Zhao, yes, but do they have re-engage? They have a lot of poke. They've got the Ezreal, they've got the Corki. I'm still siding with MNM.
So, I mean, if we're going to put the microscope back on Porp, it does feel like the Jarvan is the odd one out in that composition. It's the only one which wants to be going that way, while everyone wants to be going that way.
And
so
who is he going to lock in?
Who's he going to lock in?
The Ezreal?
Someone like, lots of people that can get outside of that. You know, lots of mobility on that front. So it does seem like MNM have that ability to maybe, if they do get that early game lead, which we've seen from them before, play with that and just say, actually, we don't care that we're playing at range at this point. You don't have the items to punish us. If you play disengage, you don't have the goal to do that. We'll win through our early game leads.
So the champion select is already done. The stairway to heaven by MNM is still rising. Will Singularity be able to do anything at all? I don't know, but obviously it's going to be with the casters initialize in Goldberg.
Shh, no stairway.
Well, maybe we'll go for the highway to hell instead. I always did like AC/DC. And I've been given very specific instructions, guys. I was told to ask Goldberg one very simple question. What do you think about the draft?
You're not supposed to tell him that we were talking before. We're coming in.
We were talking before.
No, we were talking before. That's not how it's supposed to work.
Okay, look. Shock horror, guys. Casters do, in fact, talk about what's happening off screen as well as on.
We're all doing it in the moment. Nothing in prepared. We're just
improv.
that
It's entire improv. That's
exactly.
Ignore what I said.
But no, I do agree with what the desk is saying a little bit here, because Janna, to me, is a pick I hone on in immediately because it's paired up with a Caitlyn. Whenever you have a Caitlyn, the entire map becomes about the Caitlyn, at least for the team that has it, because you want to be able to take away the plates, get a gold lead, and rotate her around the map to just always have priority because she outranges everyone and she pokes everyone down. So I like the adaptation to go through instead of saying, all right, you know what, let's go for the Ezreal. We have the Corki as well. Here's poke. So going for the last pick with the Janna here, I'm a bit ambivalent about it. And the reason is that Janna is a great disengage champion.
Yes.
But you're playing into Ezreal and you're playing into Corki. you don't disengage those champions. They just poke. And that's why it's like, it's great into Sin and Leona, and it does create some for you there. But if you want to move around with the Caitlyn, like...
Maybe you're ceding too much.
No,
yeah.
I don't know. It's going to come down to execution. I'm just saying that it will have value in some parts of the game, and we will see where it won't have the value.
Some trade-offs for that value.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's also going to be interesting because it means that if Ezreal is left alone and the Leona goes out roaming, you can't really punish as much because it's difficult to lock down the Ezreal. It's already difficult to lock down an Ezreal as it is.
Yeah.
When the Howling Gale is your only some form of CC or Mishigu screwing up by stepping on a trap, it's going to be a bit interesting. Now, I do like the mid lane matchup too. The fact that you decide, all right, let me go for Seraph. Let me try and poke him with the range that I have in the Seraph, get some priority, move down to the bot lane. That's great. If you're able to display that you can get mid lane priority, move with your jungle down towards the bot lane, choke away the Ezreal, I totally see a game plan for the side of Singularity. Problem is, I mean, if you don't, then this Cork, if you've already seen what he can do once, it's going to be really scary as well, because I do love the poking element of the composition of MNM.
Yeah, there's a lot of people here who do not want to eat Corki, because I don't think there's very many champions in the game right now at all. Whichever one you happen to lock in, the one to eat Corki Rockets post about 2 items, and we'll see how it goes. And Muta with another one of those curveballs. Singularity have tried that a few times before, some better, some worse. The Master Yi game probably most notably that really didn't work out, unfortunately, for Singularity. On the side though, for MNM, it's been a remarkable rise for this team, who went from a pretty mediocre start to being one of the strongest teams we've seen right now. Have pushed X7 a massive way as Yepe with this Glacial Janna just being obnoxious. And I did want to pick your brain about this a little bit, that you look like you've got something you want to talk about right now.
No, it's completely fine. I would just say that this is once again just the nature of a double range into only one range bot lane. We saw it last game with the Lulu into the Rakan, now we see it with the Janna into the Leona. It's just how it goes. This Leona is not supposed to function in lane, she's supposed to function outside of lane, so that's just how it goes.
So, I did want to pick your brain a little bit about this. There's another nice Howling Gale there does land onto both members of MNM's bot lane. I saw a few sort of threads hanging around Twitter, on Reddit, around some of the Janna changes that came through, and a few of these support mains going, look, people aren't playing Janna the way they used to. It's not so much about the disengages we've kind of been talking about a little bit. It's actually about being really obnoxious with the W, with the Q, and trying to just actually be just trading with your health bar and being really irritating.
Listen, I've been playing this champion a bit for myself, and she's hilarious now. I can't tell you how boring Janna was to play in the in the past. Or I would say that, but Bista
took a bit of a trade there. Of course, the barrel slow did come through, and does get to eat an orange and do away with some of those injuries.
It's going to be interesting because it is a slow push from Tatooine, no jungle is around, so this is only going to be between the 2 top laners, but if nothing's happened, it's going to happen something down towards the bot side, where we just mentioned they have pathed here. Priority is pretty much even in the bot lane, I think, so Kana, he's going to see if he can... Oh, it's just going to be gone.
Okay, yeah, no, never mind about a fight. Pop just smites it and it's done with the whole deal, and I mean, both junglers were around, kind of aware that maybe there'll be some attention to the bot lane, and Pop just gets that scuttle crab a little earlier.
Have you ever watched baseball?
Limited, but yes.
Okay, see, I haven't, but I recently started watching...
All right, continue, yes.
But I recently started watching a baseball anime. Now, enough about that. So, are you okay? You good?
It's just like, I haven't watched baseball, but I have watched the anime. That's one of the best statements I've heard all day. Thank you for that.
I'll give you the element of the new Janna. So, I'll give it in a moment.
Okay, at a moment, as Yepe has to flash away, new Janna about to have a horrible time of it. It's looking like we might need an anime redemption arc right now for Singularity's bot lane, who do get flashed on. A summoner's burnt for MNM, but they get away with first blood onto Michigu's Ezreal.
Absolutely illegal as a Janna to die like that, but again, Dr. Chaos and Michigu finding a great punish of Yepe just being too far forward, feeling a little too confident on the new Janna. But my analogy is...
Yes, I'm there now. Yeah, let's go back.
So there's a picture in baseball, right? And you throw the ball normally.
Yes.
So the batters, they get used to the normal speed that you have.
Yes.
That is old Janna. New Janna is then what you call a change-up, where the pace is changing in the pitch.
I see.
So many AD carries is so used to the old Janna Q, like you're trying to dodge it, you expect this super slow tornado to come at you. It's super easy to dodge. But now, it's like so fast in a very limited amount of seconds of charge up, and therefore it's even more annoying because a lot of players haven't gotten used to the new Janna yet, because so many bad habits of the old Howling Gale is still there.
It's just the weather report's wrong. The wind speed's significantly higher these days, unfortunately.
What is it? For only $2.99 a minute?
Yeah, that's the one, exactly. You can just
will leave you breathless.
What a reference. Janna with some incredible voice lines out there, and You leave me breathless, Goldenborg.
Oh,
Great
no,
reference.
you leave me breathless. You're breathtaking.
You're breathtaking. So is Yepe, who had his breath taken away in that lane. Yeah, we're having a moment here, guys. I apologize. Actually, I don't apologize for it. You guys are here for it too. It's adorable. Porp just going in there to see whether there was anything to be found. Not really, as Dr. Chaos does get into this warning.
Yepe, no flash.
No.
Remember that? Oh.
My days. That was very close to being troubling. And actually, he's in that bush. I wonder whether Dr. Chaos... Okay, they're both here. Both supports around and about. And there's that Howling Gale. That'll reveal that Yepe's still around. He's just there to help shove away. Oh, he's got the tail and he'll get out. Surely he gets out. Yeah, he's going to walk away. Okay, enough stress.
Yeah, some spider sensors was definitely ticking. But the thing is, for the SNG early game right now, you may not seem like it, but it's already going horrible, as Tatooine may be displaying as well up towards the top side. He's pushed away.
He is a bit there. Does have to back off. Of course, got the orange to tack himself up, and seems all right for now.
But another thing is that the Caitlyn lane is not working.
No.
The thing is with Caitlyn, you have to make the early game work. You have to be able to push down plates. Because if you do not get ahead of the enemy AD carry, I mean, you have mobility in the net, but it's really not going to save you when it's a poke composition on the side of MNM. Like, you can try and dodge away as much as you want. You will just get poked down, and you're not going to be able to respond back because you're not ahead of the curve in terms of items. So it's going to be a bit more difficult to play. And so far, Porp on the Jarvan, I mean, it's a ganking jungler. You want to be able to gank before the first 7 minutes, but he's not been able to find a single lane to influence either.
Did turn a bot and got that skull crowd, but guess who was there? Kana. You know, that's the part of the problem, is if when you're kind of turning up at the same time as the other jungler, it's like, do I want this 3v3? Do I want this 2v2? And thus far, the answer has been no. It's been a quite early game, and honestly, that, as Goldborg has been saying, favors MNM. They get the early Drake. They've managed to make this Caitlyn pretty unremarkable.
Exactly, because let's talk a little bit about the expectations as well. The expectations to this Seraph was he was going to be able to contest the Corki in terms of the wave. He has not been able to do so. The expectations of the Caitlyn Janna bot lane was they were going to be able to push the Leona and Ezreal. They have not been able to do that. And because of that, Kana has just been doing a great job of just, all right, I'm just going to take the Drake. It's free real estate. Now he can move up towards the top side. Herald is spawning in less than 1 minute. So you can see the MNM bot lane right now, the reason why they're influencing so many ultimates is because they want to get the reset through now. They want to move up towards the top side, and they want to exponentially grow their lead in this game.
Now the question will be, what does Singularity do? Do they stick in this lane and try and get plates onto the Caitlyn and just not contest the Herald? Feel like that's probably got to be the option at this point.
That's the thing, right? Because even if you go for the team fight, I just don't think they have fairly good chances. But even them have to go for a reset here, so not even able to pick up a single plate. You can see right now Dr. Chaos is out moving first, and if they go for a Herald respawn here, where they're setting Spiky up as well, well then they'll just be losing plates with the Ezreal. So far, the game is just going in favor of MNM, and here you can have it. They're starting it up. Let's look at the rotations from the side of SNG. Muta moving up the mid lane. Spiky moving down towards the bottom side. So it is just going to be 4v4, and you would think that's going to favor MNM. As I say that, Royal Cannon is actually back for a package.
Needlework comes out. Tatooine has to flash away as the Ignite comes through. One last ultimate comes through. The Cannon Barrage comes through. It's just not enough. Wait, Tatooine getting a warp flash forward from Cannon secures it. Porp's over the back, but now he's kind of caught in an awkward position. The ults come down, and that's just a pickup, and Tatooine, a little bit wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, once again, and now Royal Cannon is here with the package, which is just like, it's over. You can't go for anything now. 3 versus 4 is already a bad deal. Try to do it with a package online. But the thing is, now MNM can save this package for roaming instead. They can move down towards the bot side if they want to punish a Caitlyn. They can try and catch out Yepe if they spot him here. Yepe needs to be really careful of his position, because if he's spotted out, he's just going to die to that package. I'm not sure what he's doing here exactly.
He was just having a wand to see whether there was anything in that mid lane that maybe he'd get a hold of, and answer honestly was very much no, as there go Dr. Chaos and Royal Cannon. Going to try and catch out Porp. Muta is around though. They might be able to get onto Cannon, who's had the package run out. He's in a bit of a difficult position.
No!
He's gone so deep. There comes the ace in the hole. He gets taken out, and that's just bad, MNM. You go way too far, and now you might end up punished here as well. Here comes Mishigu though, and there's Spiky, there we go, mispronounced that name briefly. And they get out just with the one death, but a little overeager there from MNM.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't have a level 16 Corki diving in with package here. You still haven't finished your first item, so you're really not that scary just yet. So Royal Cannon feeling a bit too bold going in there, and there we'll also see the global capabilities of SNG's comp. Ace in the hole, the Arcane Barrage from Seraph as well, rather, making it a bit too difficult when you dive too far forward.
And a moment there for Singularity to feel a bit happier about. Do manage to get Royal Cannon, who has been one of the best performers in the mid lane, really, for a lot of at least like in terms of the big playmaking. His Vex games when paired up with Kano's infamous Hecarim have been phenomenal. And never mind that, as Yepe does get Solar Flare, level 6 advantage, just too much flash away. Mishigu can't quite get it. The shield comes through, now Mishigu's in trouble. Porp is here, gonna try and get it. The heal comes through, and it's a 1-for-1. What a mess.
Even when it goes right for SNG, it goes wrong. 1-for-1 being traded there. AD carries going down, and it's a good passing from Porp. They found Dr. Chaos going a bit too far forward. Yepe able to stay alive with the extra shielding. Well, let's have a look at the replay, see what actually happened. So Yepe haven't actually hit level 6 yet, so Chaos sees an opportunity, but Spiky doing a phenomenal job there, tanking the W and the Q from the Estral, making sure that his support stays alive. Then just taking a bit too many shots here, and the last auto attack from Mishigu is enough to at least trade even off that deal.
Gets the shot off after death, a little bit of Beyond the Grave going on there, 1-for-1. And that's something, of course, Mishigu did have to burn the flash there, so that's an advantage of Spiky, but it's definitely not working out perfectly for Singularity. That's a lot of damage, though. Arcane Barrage coming through. Royal Cannon does have the flash, hasn't had to use it. Dr. Chaos comes into mid lane and forces the reset of the artillery barrage. Can't hold position any longer.
This is great. Royal Cannon is getting choked out immensely here, and there's 20 seconds for the Drake to spawn. The good call for MNM there would have just been let Royal Cannon stay healthy, let him push in the mid lane, and let's go set up the Drake because we are stronger right now. But so far down in the bot lane as well, you can see Singularity, they're actually doing a really good job at pushing away the enemy carries.
Got the Herald and inventory though, does Cannon maybe looking to cheat some of that pressure, use it as a counterweight for this dragon, which has now spawned. Hex Drake Dragon on the Rift. Neither team quite willing to start it as yet. Remember, Royal Cannon as it stands, no package in inventory or available in the base. That won't be around for this fight as it stands. Herald is down, gonna try and get some plates onto Mishigu. Wondering now whether Singularity still want to fight this.
No.
Never mind that. Fight the top side. Tatsui gonna get run down there with the Ignite and just gets cut to pieces.
That's it. Really good job by Babista. He's taking care of the barrels. The timing was a little bit better than Tatui's, and just like that, a solo bolo in the top lane for Babista himself. Really knowing the matchup of Gangplank as well. If you don't know Babista, he's a Gangplank connoisseur. So him being able to have the Gwen in this matchup, I mean, he knows the right times to go in the GP, and it shows him the solo kill.
Does indeed, and that's the Herald in mid lane. That was, you know, they tried to get the chunks out with both the ultimates from Caitlyn and Xerath, and still don't manage to get a hold of the Drake. That's a second one inventory for MNM, and outside of a couple slightly sloppy moments, you know, with that 1-for-1 on the bot side and the overdrive in jungle, they have managed to earn themselves a lead, and they're feeling pretty content in this game.
They are. I mean, 2k gold lead for MNM, and I mean, Singularity did a decent job at the setup before that, Drake, but once again, you mentioned it yourself. The fact that MNM still had a Herald in the inventory meant that they could cheat around the pressure and gain instant pressure in the bot side, despite Spiky doing a good job of out-trading Mishigu.
At least Yepe now has got that Monsoon available. Should hopefully keep him a little bit more alive. Does have the exhaust, so still playing with fire a little bit, but feeling happier to do so, stepping forwards there.
I mean, it's still a difficult situation, right? Because as we've already talked about, Caitlyn did not get the ground that she wanted to against the Ezreal. Usually,
not, no.
Ezreal should not be able to contest the wave. So I'd actually be curious to see later how much gold she's actually gotten. But this time around, we mentioned it. Royal Cannon, Canna, as a duo, has been doing a phenomenal job so far in the victories of MNM, and it's even easier with a package on the Corgi here to just push in the wave, then move up towards the top side for your jungler or for your top laner. But Yepe, actually having a good read on the map, is up here as well. I'm just not sure how much he can do to the situation.
And of course, with that package available, it's going to make contest for this spawning Herald pretty difficult. Over the wall he goes, and that's Cannon going very deep. There's an exhaust, and now the turnaround. He's put in a shot glass. Cannon flashes out though, and Porp flashing away has got the shield, and still not enough. And Yepe gets absolutely deleted, poked full of holes courtesy of Gwen's needlework. And that's Tui has to go under the tower. He's in a 2, make that 3v1. Just nowhere to stay alive. A double for Babista's Gwen. Cannon tanks the tower, and what looked like an okay turnaround just falls apart in MNM's M&M's favor.
tanking once again, and Yeppe, he had the read, but they're just so far behind. Dr. Chaos was also behind as well, so as soon as that Cataclysm came down, well, so did the Solar Flare. And Singularity, they were just not able to get anything of the map elsewhere, because Mishigu was matching Spiky's roam as well. So it's just, once again, nothing's going right for Singularity, and everything's going right for MNM, who did a phenomenal job at setting up that play with the Corki from the mid lane moving up.
And here's the replay, and I honestly thought, when the Cataclysm into the Xerath ultimate was coming down, I thought, yes, maybe they've got it game. Maybe Cannon's got too deep, and just turns out not to be the case.
Exactly. This time around, he had the flashes. He's able to dodge out. Shielding from 4 almost seals the deal for them, and then the needlework on Hepe. Beautiful job by Babista. Tatui, you can flash body, but you can't escape these members running you down. There's no teammates to help you. You can see Muta. He's trying to make his way up there on the Seraph too, but he's not going to be able to pull anything off.
Is not indeed, and now that gold lead, which was only about 2,000, extended significantly now in the favor of MNM, up a healthy 4,000, well, 3,000 or so gold. No, 4, I can do it. I don't want to do maths on air, and that's why, clearly, I can't count. But
See, I have the same issue. That's why I never mention it.
I did it, and then I think I got it right, and then I second-guessed myself, which was not the right call.
Every league should have it as LCS does it, where they literally just show you the deficit
it.
in numbers in between the teams.
Yeah, alas, I had to do math live, and my arithmetic skills let me down. Haven't let Eminem down.
I'm a dropout, so I mean, I
have actually got 2 degrees, so like I should be smart.
Wow,
I should be able to do this. I've got a master's. I did well in it.
Well, okay, I'm trying to help you here. I'm
It's
sorry.
like,
It's
I
not
don't know,
gonna
there's
work
nothing
out.
to
You're kind
help,
of digging your own grave.
No, yeah, it's all right.
Bista might be digging his own grave as well.
No. Okay, they walk into him. He's got a needlework, and he's got so much damage.
Oh my
Good
God.
Lord. I thought Gangplank was supposed to be a semi-counter. The Monsoon comes through. He's put into the Cataclysm. They just not got damage. That's just so unreal. Poor Pastor Fly can drag away, and here's Dr. Chaos as a slowdown from the Howling Gale, and they get out, but...
And they opted in for that play. Remember, that was 3 people running into Babista, doing their best to find him, and I mean... They just can't do anything. They have to use the disengage of Janna immediately after engaging. It was like, engage, engage. Abort, abort.
The problem is both your damage dealers still yet to complete a mythic item. It's like, Porp's done okay, some good counter ganks and stuff, but he's just able to pull it off at these moments. And a 0-3 Gangplank versus a 3-0-2 Gwen with boots, first item, and additional items in inventory. I'm looking at that Dark Seal and thinking there might be a Medjay's sometime soon at this rate.
Here's the thing. Right now, let's be real. SNG, they're not winning team fights.
Nope.
We're taking rid of the map state.
Nope.
They're not winning on side lanes either. We're looking at objectives. They're not winning on objectives either. The Drake's 22nd for Soul Point for MNM. I mean, MNM, they're just doing an amazing job as a team of riding the wave of the momentum that they've built up towards the later weeks. But you can see SNG, they believe they're not counted out of this game just yet. And if they find a miracle find, a miracle pickup, finding some of these shutdowns as well, either on the Gwen or the Xin Sao, they may get a way back into this game. They've started up the Drake themselves now.
They have. They put down the Caitlyn traps as well, and before the second items are complete, Singularity can fight sort of on parity. The difference, of course, is that Ezreal with the second item completion, but MNM just go, fine, take the dragon. We won't fight. We'll throw the Herald down in mid. We'll get another tower. Get the shove in down here as well. Get that tower chunked out to about a third or lower. And it ends up being a trade, and not necessarily in Singularity's favor.
No, they got a turret on the top side as well, so 600 gold for the Corki. Mid lane's opened up. For Bista opening up bot lane. Dr. Chaos getting engaged on.
But he just turns around the Shield of Daybreak into that Solar Flare. The Cataclysm's coming through to Tui. Taken pretty low, but the Monsoon keeps him alive. For now, it's still not enough. Stunned in play. Porp goes down. It's double to
4 versus
Mishigo.
3.
He's flashing forwards. He's definitely feeling it at this point. No mana. That Mystic Shot goes wild. Mishigo takes a chunk from that ace in a hole. It's a lethality build for Caitlyn by doing that much damage. But he gets a double. He's 4-1-0, and this game...
Royal Countess behind
Why is he
them.
there? What are you doing? This is how many times he dived this far?
He's
Just
got package as well.
No. This... okay, well, he's there. He packages
Okay.
out of the base. Babista started on this tier 2 and bot the tier 2 in mid fell, and MNM, if they weren't winning before, they certainly are now.
That was like a short flashback to Worlds of Jin. He's ulting from the enemy base. It's just a
One Fong
Corki there
remains.
instead. My God. And this Corki has a shutdown with a 0-1-3 score. If that doesn't tell you how far ahead MNM is right now, I don't know what will. And I mean, maybe this will with a 4 versus 3 situation that they're just turning around. They've locked this Xin Sao into a Cataclysm with Crescent Strike open for the Xin Sao, meaning that Spiky, he's not doing any damage. Hepe, he's Janna. He's not doing any damage to begin with anyway. So,
Yep.
It's difficult.
I think that's probably a fairly solid phrase for a lot of Singularity season thus far. It hasn't been easy, and unfortunately this game looking like it's going to be continuing like the rest thus far. They do have some scaling, Caitlyn, Xerath, GP, if they can get some late items, you can play zone control with those picks, but they are already down over 9,000 gold, pretty much. I mean, just shy of it, but that is a lot of gold to be down at 20 minutes. They have lost every single neutral objective aside from one Infernal Dragon. Everything else has been in favor of MNM, and even that Infernal Dragon came in trade for that play you just saw then.
Exactly, that was an Infernal Drake for opening the mid lane turret, for opening the bot second turret, and opening the top second turret. So, I mean, close to 1.5 gold.
Yeah, we've all seen the meme with the trade deal. Like, I think there's trade deal, just like on one side, it's just incredibly weighted to the other.
You get Infernal Drake, I get
every
3
structure you
turrets,
own.
a team fight, and pressure on the map once again. And I mean, it's difficult, right?
Yes.
Because with Singularity, I mean, at this point, let's all be real. They're just not showing up. The players know it. We know it. It's a difficult situation. We see them come in with some ideas like the Seraph to match the Corki. But even then, like, all the first 3 Ws missed in laning phase, and just like that, all of a sudden Corki gained the prio, and it's just a little bit over. Now Baron has been started from MNM, and you can see Pulp. He is in position to try and come around for it, but even them, Royal Cannon and Dr. Chaos is just looking for him. Like, they're so far ahead they can allow themselves to do this.
Dr. Chaos thinking about taking the blast, going teleport in from behind. GP not come over yet. Flash forward for the win, becomes lightning. Porp taken so low, so is Spiky, who goes down to Mishigu, picks up his 5th kill of the game. Cannon Barrage comes through, but that's just a 21-gun salute, and it's on the grave of Spiky, who's dead. 5v4, no ultimates available. And Babistus just 1v4ing in the mid lane.
Plays your bets, plays your bets. Can he 1 versus 4? I think he can definitely go for it.
He can! He's how many levels? He's at least 2 levels up on Tatui. He's 5 levels up on the Janna. Muta does no damage. It's 3,000 HP down, and now actually with that Altman coming through,
Pop.
might be able to get into the back end of this pit down to try and stay.
He stole it!
Pop, you god! It was a moment they needed in Singularity. Managed to steal away the Baron, courtesy of a couple of ultimates burned.
All right, now let's get credit for this deal. It was beautiful. It's great. It keeps Singularity in the game. Now let me just bring up my reality hammer real quick.
Are you sure? Oh, that's a big hammer.
Oh, it is, bro. Reality is quite heavy, quite often, unfortunately. There's still quite a big goal behind. There's still 3rd Drake coming up from the side of MNM. So. And even when they're pushing out like this with the Baron buff, they are still going to be playing on the back end. Like, they're still going to be playing on the back foot. So they need more of this. They need to find ways of either finding a pick in this team fight or finding a steal once again. But the thing is, when you're trying to steal Drake on red side, you don't have a wall to go over. You have to face them first before coming through.
Look, okay, I'm going to continue your analogy. You've got your reality hammer, but the thing is, Singularity might be able to break new ground. Find themselves a bit of a gold vein underground, get some money in that inventory with this Baron, maybe stall out, and maybe that's the reality that they can find beneath this wasteland that is the game so far.
If Singularity can win this game, then that means all dreams can come true.
Indeed.
And you should just drop whatever you do, quit your job, and follow your dreams.
Exactly it. I could hear When You Wish Upon a Star, courtesy of Disney, come flying in the background, and it would be a bit of a fairy tale come
Don't
true at this
mention
point.
that name.
That's true. Might get in trouble. I've said it once, but I think I got away with it.
Mickey's gonna get mad.
Yeah, that's certainly something. Mickey getting mad. I mean, it's not Kingdom Hearts, mate. Come on now. All right.
I mean, have you seen South Park? I'm just saying.
All right, we've got to bring it back. The hysteria is setting in. MNM about to stabilize things despite the lost Baron. Will pick up Infernal Soul points, though I appreciate Muta throwing down the Arcane Barrage to maybe pick up a steal.
Yeah, if they stole the objective, they stole our hearts if that one came through as well, but unfortunately, Soul Point for MNM and an Infernal Drake with an Estro and with a Corki. I mean, those Mystic Shot, those Rock hits, they're already annoying to deal with. They're just gonna get even more annoying to deal with in 5 more minutes if the game is not really over by then.
Yeah, of course, it's not the full poke build from Royal Cannon. He's gone towards that Immortal Shield Bow, no Luden, so a little bit tanky, a little less of the nuclear warheads for an R button. But still pretty dangerous, still heading towards a lot of items. Like, the one to be really afraid of right now is Mishigu, who's 3 items complete, including a Muramasa transformation, which is unkind levels of poke.
And usually you would see Ezreal go for, you know, Crown of the Shattered Queen as a third item just to get that extra defensive spike in there, get a little bit of AP. But with this, you're just like, I'm not afraid to die. I'm just going to be pulling on a ton of damage on you. And the extra slow you get now on the Mystic Shot, not only is it great for the damage with the follow-up, but it's also easier for Dr. Chaos to come in with a Senate Blade, for Canna as well with the follow-up, and for the Gwen to stick up already with the slow from the needlework. Like, the chase potential just gets easier for MNM.
Well, the Baron has now worn off. It's allowed Singularity to stall for a little bit, but what has it bought them? Second items just about on the main carries. Tattoo is still waiting to pick that one up, has been put under the cosh a lot this game. 0-4-0, not the performance I think he was looking for on the GP, but can't even get to the Wolf camp. And you don't blame Port for going over there, you don't blame him for trying to get something, but it's so difficult. And even if you do go in as this Jarvan at this point, I think you're just signing your own death warrant.
That's the thing. The only thing that Singularity own of the map at this point is their base. As soon as you go out of those base wall, that is MNM territory, and that's a reality you'll have to get comfortable with. I'm not sure they will.
I mean, like, they should be playing the Crime City skins, because it's looking like a bit of a protection racket now for MNM, and it looks like...
Is that a mobile game?
I don't know.
Is that the one I keep getting an ad for?
Probably. You know, it's not... you know, I'm not raiding anything anytime soon.
Okay.
But all the same, like, he's coming in, like, knocking on the door and going, yeah, your protection's up on this, and we're going to take, you know, repo your entire base at this point. Don't even own your own property right now, and it is just feeling a little bit like bullying, like... That's the most damage you can do with Janna right now, and everyone else is like, can we hold on to these turrets? Maybe?
And that's the thing, because you can turtle all you want. The MNM, they're in no rush. They can just wait the 2 minutes for the Baron. They can wait the 2 minutes and 30 seconds for the Elder Soul to come through as well. And just like that, then you pulled off the Exodia, you're ready to end the game. No one's ever been able to do that. Well, yes, they have quite a couple times, but it's still MNM in pure domination in this game.
The deepest wards that Singularity have right now are the ones they managed to place over the initial wall to the jungle on their side. That is as deep as it goes. They've got one just behind the wolf pit, and they've got one on the other side of the jungle, and that's kind of it. That's what this is costing them more than anything else. Is even if they wanted to contest, that's it. You got one lost ward. There, it's not even physical. It's not even active.
It's a corrupted ward. It's just like, it is there, but it's not yours.
That's all they've got. They can see nothing. Anything they want to contest is just so far out of reach. It's so in the dark. Like, can you really look at that? It's a horror story.
It's like those old games. It's like just playing Warcraft in the old days, where you have not enabled this map yet. You have to pad through to really know what's in there. So they're trying to pad in there now. Exactly.
Should have gone to Twisted Tree Line. That's where they should have been. Clearly unlocked the wrong map. That's the problem.
Oh no, the memories. Bring it back.
Alas. No 3v3 mode. This is a 5v5. Even if it is feeling a little bit like... I hesitate to say. I thought about saying, well, unfortunately for Singularity, they are such a long way behind, and they really do need to try and hold on for another item, because they aren't playing at parity with the other champions. They're not really playing champion to champion right now, just because of the discrepancies in experience, in items. That is a death cap on Gwen.
It's rough. It's definitely rough, and now you can see they're just taking care of the last zone control. Even if SNG wants to make their way in here, they'll need to find a path where they're not spotted on vision. And you can see Pop on the minimap. He's trying to come from an unconventional angle. But even then, they try push up towards the top side. The Crocs right now, he's spotted out. They know exactly where he is now.
Yep, he's going to step forward. He's at half HP. Yeah, but oh my day, he just hopped before he's gone. Even with the Monsoon, he's just dead. And Porp is on vision. He doesn't know. He thinks he's off. He's trying to find a way through. But the vision might be dark for you, Singularity. It is clear as crystal for MNM. Mishigu picks up the kill. They're going to try and steal it. They're going to knock it down pretty low, only to 1,000 HP. And Canna holds the smite.
Yeah, thank you for the leash, boys. I mean, I've seen a series where GP Ultimate would come in clutch and put a team to Worlds, but this was definitely not that serious with the GP. And now with Baron being up and available, they can try and look for the end now. They can try and move down to the Infernal Soul, even if they would like it. I don't think they need it, but it's the icing on cake you can easily get.
Well, it was a worthy attempt. It was a look for another miracle, but Bister's hopping in and he is immune to any attempt to Singularity. The heal is forced and maybe he's just gone too far. That's a big pickup. But even in a 5 versus 4, I don't know whether Singularity want to take it, but they get a hold of it, but Bister goes too deep and Singularity just about hold on, and MNM just turn back to the Infernal Drake instead. Okay,
so MNM definitely not clean about it. Now they're like, oh, guess we couldn't just end with the Baron. Let's try and just get the Infernals rolled for herself, and then we'll start up the sieging again. the fact is, like, this still doesn't do anything for SNG, right? Like, they get a pickup, they get a shot down. Muta, he's looking good as well on the Seraph. 1-0-1, brilliant farm as well, considering how pushed and far back they've been shoved into their base, but it's just not going to be the difference.
Oh boy, Pork takes so much damage. He goes golden cannons, taken to half HP.
Word.
But Mishigu, he's looking to absolutely murder anybody remaining. The Infernal Soul comes through and just crunches anything remaining. It's Muta firing off one final right of the Arcane. Dr. Chaos with a little bit of a dance spam in mid lane, and I think it's all but over for the Weeping.
Like a soldier at a funeral, firing the last shot for his fallen comrades.
Alas, poor Singularity, we knew thee well. 0 and 7 is what they're looking down the barrel of in this game. The shots will fire out courtesy of Mishigu. Towers starting to fall. Muta trying to do what little he can that's remaining. But instead it's MNM. It felt like it was theirs from the moment Caitlyn couldn't get the advantage in bot.
And it's true. You know, the tools that Singularity drafted for themselves, the win conditions, they're too difficult to play. And it's not to give these players any criticism, because I feel like they're having a rough time right now. But when you then draft a composition that is factored around you having to get the Caitlyn ahead, and then later in the mid game having to play around the grounding of a Gangplank and of a Seraph, where there's no realistic engage unless you throw Jarvan in there, it becomes a very difficult composition to pilot, and I just don't think it benefits the situation that they're finding themselves in. On the other end of the coin, though, MNM still looking really good despite a few hiccups here towards the late game.
They really are, and this is a team that has gone from strength to strength. They pick up another victory, and we're going to throw it to a break. And when we come back, we've still got some more to go, so don't, guys, go anywhere. See you in a few.